In front of me is a XIAOMI Mix Flip, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So to get started, we're going to open up settings, and in here we're going to navigate first to the notifications and status bar, where we have a couple things. So number one, I like to clean up the status bar, so let's start with the battery indicator, and you have two options, or two additional options, and I would like to have the percentage still visible, but inside of the battery, which obviously just makes a little bit more space for the rest of the garbage that you see right here. Then we have notification style. We have two different ones. You can customize. Let's see if I have any. No, I don't have any notification to showcase this. So that's unfortunate. Below that, we have a notification basically icon. So right now it's set to 1. I believe the default is actually 3. So you typically see 3 icons, and then it just gives you like the 3 dots that there is more. Again, I have no notification right here, but I would either select 1 or none, which would just kind of give you a little bit cleaner look. And obviously you can still swipe down to get the rest of the notification info. Next we have carrier name. It's set to none, which I think that's default, which is pretty good. And in here it looks like we... Okay, I was looking if there's also an option to hide icons in here, but I don't actually see it, unfortunately. So we're moving on to the home screen now. And here we have a couple more things. So under home screen, you can choose from different styles. We have the classic, drawer, or light. Light is basically the kind of like senior mode, you could call it. Drawer is the one that I prefer, as it allows me to now have an up drawer by, once it reloads, by swiping up. So it has all the applications in here. And something that XIAOMI does is they actually have also categories right here. Default, obviously every time you pull it, it's going to be the all. So you have all application right here, but you can later on go through here to different modes or different categories and just find ones that you're looking for. It just gives you a category of a bunch of applications, and it's a little bit easier to find. Though there's one thing that I would recommend doing is navigating into the settings and actually editing the names for them, which you can do by, there we go, manage app categories. So you can create custom ones, and this might be a little bit more painful as you can't rename the existing ones, but you can create new ones. And you could just name it as a single letter or whatever, just so you have more of them available when you have them right here. As you can see, the communication takes literally half of the field, and then entertainment is another half, and then you have another like 10 afterwards. Now if you were to have some like just 1-2 letter kind of shortcuts, obviously that would allow you to have way more visible at a time and have an easier time going through the categories. But like I said, it would be a little bit more painful, as you would need to then manually place all the apps that you want in those categories yourself. The default ones that we have right here are automatically sorted. The ones that you would create would not, as they don't really have a category. It's just a name that you choose. Anyway, going back in here, we have swipe down for the home on the home screen, and we have a couple options in here. So we have app finder and notification shade. I personally like the notification shade, as I don't need to reach all the way to the top to grab it, and you can see it works pretty well here. If you want, you can obviously use the app finder. Personally, I don't really like it. I use the notification more rather than the app finder, so that's what I'm gonna stick, but you have the option to change it right over here. Next, we have the home screen layout at the bottom right here, and we can make it a little bit more cluttered so more applications will fit on the home screen. As you can see, just kind of tightens them. The columns are still the same, so you have, actually, the columns, I guess, increased, the rows did not. Now moving to the display and brightness, here we have light and dark mode at the very top, and you can choose whichever one you want, but additionally you have the option to select the dark mode. There we go, by toggling it on in here. And you can set it from sunset to sunrise or on a custom timer, meaning that the mode will switch automatically based on the specific time. Scrolling a little bit further down in here, we also have the color scheme. This just allows you to choose the saturation of your display. By default, it is looks like it's just default, though it actually might not be, as default usually is vivid, but in any case right now it's set to original color pro. We also have the vivid, saturated, and advanced settings, so this just allows you to kind of manually do it yourself. It looks like the advanced settings is something that I would want to use. I don't know how visible this is. You can kind of see just a little bit of a change in like the white changes more to bluish hue. So I like to have it a bit more warmer rather than bluish tones on my phone. So that's why I'm selecting this one. And it also just desaturates the colors by a little bit, not by much. Some of them don't seem to change like almost at all. But it does have just a bit less saturated display. This is what I prefer. Obviously you can choose whichever option you want in here. Next we have the refresh rate, and it is set to default. We also have custom. Now default attempts to basically give you the best of both worlds, high refresh rate and the standard one, which is 60. So when scrolling up and down, it will automatically switch to 120 to give you that nice battery smooth motion. But when there's nothing moving on a screen, like right here, it will lower down the refresh rate to preserve battery life. This is obviously the best kind of case scenario, but if you don't really see much of a difference between like 120 and 60, though to see the 60 difference you would need to manually toggle around in here between, then probably you might just want to stick with 60, as this will give you better battery life overall compared to the default one. I like the nice smooth motion, so that's what I'm gonna stick with. Now there's also the option to select it permanently at 120, but under no circumstance would I recommend doing that, as this will drain your battery quicker. Anyway, moving on to the last thing that I wanted to showcase, we're gonna go into additional settings. At least that's I think where it is located. And I wanted to showcase the gesture navigation. Or is it under the display? Guess I'm just gonna search for it. So okay, so there we go. Use buttons or gestures. We have right now. Wait. Oh, that's not for what I'm looking for. Gestures, there we go. So you have system navigation right here. As you've seen, you have it's under home screen, and yep, system navigation. So I did miss it. It was on the home screen somewhere. But in any case, you have the two modes. So we have the buttons, which can enable right here, or gestures, not now. And we also have the option to get rid of this. So hide a full screen indicator, not now. And as you can see, it just gives you a cleaner look. By removing it, everything works still like it did before. It just removes this annoying bar at the bottom. So there we go. This concludes all the tweaks and tricks that I want to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.